Welcome to yet another mental health morsel. We've heard people pouring their hearts out about how their boss is an evil soul, or how they always wanted to be an artist but landed up in another profession, how they like going to the beach and their spouse likes the mountains. People are quite impacted and by how life happens to them and around them because of the kind of people in it. They are pained by or frustrated by problems that they face in their lives, and how they let their frustrations out is by talking about those problems to people around them. We are not talking of those people who are complaint mongers, okay, because these are categories of people who will continuously be troubled by very little silly problems which can actually have a very easy solution, but consciously unconsciously they don't want to solve it, they just want to talk about it and then do nothing about it. So if you offer a solution to such people, they will end up finding problems in your solutions rather than working on the advice that you have given them. In this video, we are not talking of such people. We are not talking of complaint mongers, but we are also just talking about people who really deserve to be listened to. Like at other times, if they are following, they're just, through a problem. They don't generally talk about it, but they have a very solution focused approach and they are battling it out. But this time, this rare category of people who generally don't offload their problems on others, they want to talk. We are talking of those people, that they are really battling a concern and they really need a solution, in the sense of talking to other people about it. Now, for such people, how do you become a good active listener is something that really needs to be spoken about. The first thing that you can do is just listen to understand and not to preach or to give advice, unless you are asked for it. Sometimes the person just wants to be heard without being judged or told what to do. Be there to hear them out with probably just monosyllabic responses as, I understand, yeah, I hear you. And just convey your understanding about the conversation very precisely. Avoid invalidating or trivializing their concern unless it is really unreasonable and the person needs to know that. When I do have a suggestion to make, say, when I'm listening, or I have a perspective to offer on the situation, first gauge the situation and the mindset and the receptive power of that person at that point of time. That is the person who is trying to talk their heart out, really ready to take a suggestion and advice from you. Only do that. And if you do sense that the person is in probably that zone to listen to you talk back, convey saying that I think I understand what your situation looks like and how it feels like being in your situation. But since I'm looking at it as a third person, I have a perspective to offer, and then state your perspective in a very patient, respectful manner. One thing that we want to avoid is by thinking that we are the knight in armor with all the solutions to all the problems in this world. Please let us not feel so superior and feel that we have all the keys to all the locks in the world. If we are thinking that we do have such keys and such solutions to all the problems, and we think of ourselves being very, very wise, we may sometimes be wrong also. So let us not be in this superior zone of offering solutions to all the problems. Just hear them out. Remember, we don't want to be poor listeners. Next is, let's learn from what people are talking to us. You never know. Sometimes you might just find a solution to your own problem while you hear patiently. Also, avoid listening and conveying empathetically but firmly if you feel so loaded and burdened with what the person is saying. Sometimes it can be very overbearing to listen to people's problems. We feel very heavy. So maybe that is a point that you need not sustain for a long period of time by by thinking that if I do convey that I'm feeling burdened, then it is like being a poor listener. That's not the case. When other people's talking out of their problems to you becomes very, very overbearing, please convey it to them firmly. empathetically, respectfully, and please guide them to another person who will be a good listener, maybe a mental health professional. Let us learn to distance ourselves from other people's problems also. We have a tendency to listen so well sometimes that we make others' problems our own problems. So let us not internalize problems, keep distance. The skill that we are talking so far about being very good active listeners, I'm sure you've gauged that it's not easy. It's quite difficult and it needs a lot of consistent practice. The list of ways that I've shared of becoming a good listener is not exhaustive. I'm sure each one of us has so many more things to add to it, and please do add to become a good listener. But here is just a few ways that I thought I would share with you to become good listeners of people who deserve to be heard. So make it a point that next time when you do listen to such a person, you follow some of these ways that I have shared. Do put in your comments and your experiences in the comment box below. Thank you so much for listening. And yes, be there for people to listen, because we have enough talkers in the world. Thank you.